This is for Chinese medicine students only. Please pause and read. So we remember the carpals with sum, scaphoid, lovers, lunate. Those are the two that articulate with the radius and the ulnar. The triquetrum, and positions, pisiform. That, trapezium. They, trapezoid. Can't, capitate. And handle, hamate. And remember that the thumb levels with the trapezium, index finger, trapezoid, middle finger, capitate, and the last two digits with the hamate. So some lovers try positions. The sum is the scaphoid, means boat shaped. You can feel the tubercle of the scaphoid here. You can feel the scaphoid in the anatomical snuff box, and you can come onto the dorsal aspect of the wrist, and you can actually pinch and mobilize the scaphoid in there. So if we come to this rounded tubercle of the scaphoid, if you come to its proximal extremity, on the radial corner is lung 9, and on the ulnar corner is pericardium 7. So these points you can locate using that bone. If we come back to the anatomical snuff box, if we come down the metacarpal of the thumb, off its edge we feel a little gap. This is where the trapezium is. The trapezium sits under the thumb and it articulates with it. And then we feel the scaphoid bone, and then stylo process of the radius. Large intestine 5 is found in between the radius and the scaphoid in there. If you only deviate the wrist, pull the thumb down, then the trapezium pops up and you can feel it, and the scaphoid. So lovers is the lunate, and you have to remember Captain Looney, Captain the tallest finger, and then you come over the third metacarpal, you come into a gap, which is the capitate, Captain. This is the main sort of stabilising the bone. It's bigger than I've drawn it here. You feel it as a flat gap. It's the bone around which all the other wrist bones articulate. And then you've got the lunate, which is this wedge-shaped bone in here. So Captain Looney, you come up the middle finger into the big hollow here, which is where the capitate is, and then this wedge-shaped lunate. We use that when we're finding triple burner 4. So we come up the ring finger, come over the 4th metacarpal. Actually feel a gap here, which is where the hamate is. Hamate is on the 4th and the 5th. Feel this gap, and then the lunate and triple burner 4 is right there in between the ulnar and the lunate bones. These are easier to feel if you flex the wrist, and these bones pop out. Makes them much easier to feel. So some lovers try. The try is the triquetrum. I think of the ulnar edge as being, triquetrum to me sounds like a martial art, so I think of it as being chop down this edge of the hand like a karate chop. And when you chop, you say ha, and that's for the hamate. So if you feel down the 5th metacarpal, you feel the gap. The gap is where the hamate is. You can't feel it, but you can feel the little gap. So for small intestine 4, you have to get in tight to the 5th metacarpal. And then you come over the triquetrum, and in between the ulnar and the triquetrum is small intestine 5. The triquetrum is much easier to feel, and if you radially deviate your wrist, all of these bones pop up so that you can feel them. So some lovers try positions. The P is the pisiform, this little P-shaped bone here. If you pinch where the pisiform is, you'll feel the triquetrum, and the pisiform is a little sesamoid bone that sits on top of it. And we find heart 7 at the proximal radial corner of the pisiform bone. If you feel down the pinky, you can remember pink ham and peas. If you come down the little finger, the pinky finger, you come down and you feel the hook of Hamate in here, and then the Pisiform bone. Now the hook of Hamate, the Pisiform bone, the scaphoid tubercle, and the little ridge of the Trapezium that sits under the thumb make up the carpal, 4 pillars of the carpal tunnel. So in the carpal tunnel you have 9 tendons and a nerve passing through it. So if you're needing to needle either side of that, you can feel these landmarks to feel where the carpal tunnel is. So some lovers try positions that they can't handle. That is the Trapezium, which sits under the thumb. They is the Trapezoid. How do you remember? They're in alphabetical order. Can't is the Capitate, which we felt as this gap. So the Trapezoid is between the Trapezium and the Capitate in there. And the handle is the Hamate, which we can feel by coming up the 4th or 5th metacarpals and into this gap.